Hello, I'm Ali Rowland and welcome to Lunar Soul Tarot. And today we're going to be talking about the court cards. And a word before we actually get into the different archetypes. The original court cards in the sort of medieval time, they were page, knight, queen and king, and they were sort of gender specific, if you like. These days, and sort of in the 20th and 21st century, a lot of the decks, because roles have now become non-gender specific, you can have a woman as the absolute ruler. You can also have female knights, if you like, or female soldiers. That wasn't so much in that time. I dare say there was a few female soldiers, and one obvious one I can think of is Joan of Arc. But in general, the roles were gender specific, not pacific, sorry, specific. But as things move on into the 20th century, as Dave Davis would say, it became a mixed up, shook up world, and not a bad thing either. So things have changed, and as we move through the different court cards, I will show you examples of how they can be interchanged as well. We're going to look at the archetype of each card and the element as well, because each archetype is set into an element. So let's move on. So the archetype we're going to talk about first is the pages, and the element is earth. So that's very sort of grounded, and it's very not mundane, but it's the practical part of the element, if you like, and the physical part. So let me show you. I'll just bring these up to the camera so you can see them, and I hope you can focus on that. Here we have an example. This is Nimue, and it's from the Barbara Walker Tarot. In this deck, the pages become princesses. So they're still sort of below the knight or the prince, if you like, but they take on a female role. So this is a deck, I think, from I bought in the 80s. So things had kind of moved on a bit. So another example, this is from the Aquarian deck, which I think was originally drawn in the 70s. And we have a page of pentacles, and it's a young man, okay, or I think it's a young man because he's got a tash. So there we are. And then finally, moving on, we have our, this is from the Divine Tarot, or Tarot of the Divine. And again, this is a page, and we have a lady, and she's having a lovely time. Look at that. Gorgeous she is. So there we are. So 3 different examples of how the page can change. The main parts of the main elements and the characteristics of the page is it's a very youthful energy. So sometimes childlike, sometimes also immature, but it has all the energy of youth. And that applies to the card, and it also applies to the suit. So you get the youthful element of the suit, and this becomes a kind of a gift of that suit. But we'll go into the individual cards, suit cards, at a later stage. So moving on, we have our prince or our knight in the deck, and again here's the knight from the Aquarian deck, the Palladini Aquarian deck, which is quite traditional. Here's the knight from the Barbara Walker Tarot, and Tyr. Tyr was a Norse god and warrior. So there we are. And then finally, from the Tarot of the Divine, we have a young woman riding on her goat. Is that a goat? Yeah, it's a goat. It's lovely, rather pretty. So when we look at the knight, you're thinking about a slightly older than a teenager, but and a character that's sort of full of education. So knights quite often personify learning, the exploration of that suit, if you like, and they're the unfulfilled potential because they're not yet old enough. So in terms of princes, if you think of the Prince of Wales, 18 months ago, King Charles was Prince of Wales, and he waited rather a long time to become king. So possibly our new Prince of Wales, William, will not last or have to wait quite as long. So he's the sort of ambition of the suit as well. So he's what is yet to come from there. And the element is fire. So it has all that sort of abundance of creative energy that fire would give to anything. So, and it's that sort of full charge, full creative, and sometimes slightly noisy potential of the card. So that is our knight. So the next archetype is of course the queen, who's much more sort of straightforward to capture. Here is the Barbara Walker version of the Queen of Cups. The Palladini, let's get that in camera, there we are, Queen of Pentacles, and the Divine Tarot, Queen of Wands. So three very different versions, and all quite gorgeous, I think. So the Queen, if you like, has a much more, she's kind of passive authority, if you like, and she carries all the nurture. She has obviously the abundance of the Queen, and sometimes she is also, well, she's very much the mother of the deck in that sense, but she's also feminine power and energy, and the element is water. So, and water, there she goes, water is a hard element to capture, so it's constantly moving, and so she's, if you like, the emotional side of the archetypes in the deck. We talked about ambiguity earlier, so, and we've seen how the page and the knight can also be presented as female form, and in the same sense, the Queen can also represent a male person. So because men can be caring too, so it doesn't generally, it refers to a woman, but sometimes it can refer to a man with those nurturing energies and with the sort of organisational abilities that the women have. So again, we have a bit of ambiguity, but generally speaking, in the decks, they are portrayed as, Queen is portrayed as a woman, and the King, which we're moving on to next, is portrayed, sorry, get your tongue around it, is portrayed as a man. So now moving on to the kings. So the king obviously is male power. So it's lateral thinking, it's logical decisions, it's and it's all the power that is given to a man of that position. So it's someone who governs over a situation. And let's just see if I can find those. Here we go, our three different examples. Here we have the King of Wands. This is the Barbara Walker Tarot again. Quite a handsome chappy. Our King of Pentacles in the Aquarian deck. And then finally, in the Tarot of the Divine, we have is it a stork or some kind of, or maybe even a phoenix? It's some kind of crested bird. Very beautiful. I'd have to go back, refer back to the booklet to tell you why it's presented in that way. But presumably, because you've got your sort of peacocky feathers, and it's only the males that get those peacocky feathers with birds. The male birds tend to be more decorated than the females. So the element, and I guess that is one good way of portraying the element, is air. So with the king, air also represents mental capability, decision making. It's upholding justice, if you like. So that's how the element works around the king. So I'll be doing another further video, and we'll be looking at the individual kings in the suit. Likewise for the pages, the knights or princes, and the queens as well. And in that one, you'll get more information as to how the element of the archetype works with the element of the suit presented. So do look out for that video. For now, I will say please use your notebooks or journals to make any sort of mental notes you need to. Keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you will understand, and the more knowledge you will build up, and also the more skill you will get. So, and listen, as you start to read the cards or kind of associate with the cards, you will start to sort of get sort of images in your own head, or phrases, or even sometimes I hear a song, which will give you more information when you're reading. So for now, thank you very much for listening. And don't forget, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comment sections, or any suggestions in the comment section. And please like, subscribe and share if you feel like doing so. And that's me over and done with for now. I'm Ali Rowland. This was Lunar Soul Tarot, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.